Welcome back to CLTV News. A new and revised version of the SAT test made its debut this March, and now we're seeing the results as students across the country get their scores. Joining me now on set is David Kim. He's the head of C2 Education, which is a nationwide tutoring and counseling provider with several locations right here in Chicago. Welcome, David.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So tell us about this new SAT test. First of all, tell us, why did they change the test?
Well, you know, the new SAT is a great test for students in school because it's going to be more aligned with what they learn in school. And so one of the biggest criticisms was that, you know, what is this SAT stuff, right? You know, who are going to use these SAT words or these SAT-type math problems in the real world? And so they wanted to make it a lot more applicable to what students are actually doing.
In the real world.
That's correct.
Okay, so this was the first time that we've actually seen some results from the new redesigned test that came out in March. Tell me, what did the results look like compared to the old test?
Well, the scores haven't come out yet. The scores are going to be coming out in mid-May. But there's been a lot of surveys that have been done with students. And so the majority of students, over 70%, say, hey, this test really is like something I did learn at school. And other kind of things that students have said are that, you know, this is a test that they feel like is a lot more appropriate and applicable for the college admissions process.
Are students finding the new SAT harder? Are they comparing it to the old one, or are these students that probably didn't even take the old one? Yeah,
so, you know, since the test is more aligned with what you're learning in school, they made a lot of changes, like making the reading passages more difficult. But funnily enough, you know, a lot of the students who took the test, they actually found the passages to be more approachable, more interesting, because they're less generic, and actually found the reading passages to be slightly easier at the end of the day. The biggest concern that students had were on the math sections. A lot more kind of application and real-world type of scenarios have been put in as part of doing the math, as well as eliminating the calculator for parts of the math test.
Okay.
And so a lot of students have complained that there wasn't enough time to actually finish the math part of the test on the new SAT.
So meaning you can't bring your calculator in anymore, huh?
Well, you can bring
parts of it.
For parts of it. Exactly.
That's interesting. So I guess overall, when they redesigned this test, are they expecting students to score higher or lower on the SAT?
Well, you know, they want the test to be a better predictor of future college success, right? So that was one of the other concerns that administrators and college admissions officers had about the old SAT. It's like, hey, you did well on the SAT, but what does it really mean, right? Are you really going to be a great college student? And so, you know, in terms of the scores, you know, only time will tell.
Right.
The first scores are coming out in a couple of weeks, and so we'll see if, you know, the averages have come up or not.
Okay. And, you know, when it comes to SAT tests, everyone wants to know, how do you prepare? How do you prepare for this new round of tests?
Yeah. So the new test, since it's more based on what a student learns in school, you know, kind of the traditional tricks or strategies that a lot of test prep providers had traditionally offered are no longer really applicable. It's really a content-based test. And so really knowing your materials, having strong reading skills, really having strong math skills and writing skills are going to be the real, you know, long-term and absolute way that you can really increase your score. So the great thing about the new test is the more you study for it, the more you can actually raise your score, and it's really a test that's more preparable and coachable than ever before from that regard.
And there are lots of books out there. I know SAT for Dummies, various books like that. Books written for this new test already, or
Absolutely.
What?
So, you know, for C2 at our company, we were one of the first to actually put out materials for the new SAT, and so, you know, that's one avenue. But, you know, the most proven way to increase your test scores is really through one-on-one coaching, which is what we really believe in and really try to push with a lot of the students that come into our doors.
So I have to ask you, students getting ready to go off to college, they're done with the SAT right now.
Correct.
But those incoming or upcoming seniors and even some juniors, when would you advise to take the SAT test, and how many times would you say they need to take it?
Yeah, that's a question we often get. You know, you should really take the SAT when you're ready, because there are so many practice tests that are available. You know, a student and a parent can actually see how that student is scoring. You know, the first kind of early indicator that most parents and students will get will be the PSAT, which is what a lot of sophomores and juniors will take in October of this upcoming school year. Based on those scores that typically come out in December, students and parents can really start game planning. Should I take it in the spring? Should I wait until the summer, or because there'll be a new summer test coming next year in August, or should I wait until the fall? At the end of the day, you should really take the test when you're ready, and not take it unnecessarily, in my opinion.
All right, David Kim with C2 Education, 15 locations in Chicago, you
That's
say?
right.
All right, thanks so much for
Thank
joining
you, Courtney.
us. We really appreciate
Pleasure.
it. All right, it's time for us to take a look at the forecast.